Well, Shana Tova, everyone. We'll get started in just a moment, but I want to mention for everyone who's joining us online that we'll be starting in just a few moments. Shana Tova and Chag Sameach.
I have one here if you want to share it. You're welcome.
Okay. They're in a different spot, but we could, hang on, let's see. We could start. With this one. We can do most of this.
It's just the readings.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. It's amazing. We'll do like an avant-garde, stand here. That's really fun.
Thank you, Mike.
Are you up for sharing this?
Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you want me to play guitar?
You can play the whole time. I'm going to play along because we haven't rehearsed. So
I'll just
like at least start off because just in case you haven't heard something before or you don't know the rhythm or whatever, then I can be like, okay, I can let go now, and then.
Perfect. Yes, I will follow you the lead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thanks, Bob.
There's a slightly different prayer book for this evening since we are together for celebrating Sukkot. And so there's a few different readings, things like that, but nevertheless, thank you, Mike, I'm good. Nevertheless, when we come together, we do so with structure that is familiar. And so even though this is technically a different service, we are gathered on a Monday night and as a part of the holiday, the Chag of Sukkot, there's going to be a familiar framework. It strikes me as that we actually sometimes need a reason to be together. We need a medium. We like being together, we like being with one another, but sometimes we kind of need an invitation, a little bit like having a gym buddy, right? You kind of have some reason, some extra thing, right? And that's what our service does. It gives us the opportunity to come together, as the old joke goes that I'm sure everyone has heard, right? That Sarah goes to services to talk to God, and Rachel goes to services to talk to Sarah, right? This is an opportunity for us to come together. It's an old but goodie, yeah. This is an opportunity for us to welcome one another into, metaphorically, this sukkah that we build together underneath the canopy of the talit of this sanctuary, and later, of course, we'll join together outside in our sukkah. But this evening, we have an opportunity simply to let our faith, let our words and melodies and songs be an opportunity to bring us together. So wherever we are, for those of us who are joining on Facebook and on YouTube, and those of us who are on our website, on the live stream, as well as everyone here, we come together simply to be with one another. And I want to mention one other thing, especially for those of us who are joining on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like, I invite you to switch over to our live stream on our website, tilb.org, for one reason mostly. This evening, when we get to Misha Berach, our healing prayer, and Kaddish, our prayer for remembering those who have passed away, there will be an opportunity to write the names of those that you're thinking of in the chat. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can still write in the chat, but we won't be able to see that chat. But if you're on the stream on the website, we'll be able to read those names as well. Well, we join together this evening, welcoming in this holiday of Sukkot, waking up to this opportunity to be with one another, to be together. And so in our different prayer book, this weekday and holiday prayer book, we begin on page 125. I want to invite us to read this short reading on that page all together. 125. Tonight, let our shelters be strung with the finest fruits of creation: love, fertility, prosperity, wisdom. Let us promise to feed the hungry. Let our harvest bring peace. We sing together.
Are you in tune again? Are you in tune?
I hope so.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
We continue as we often do for holidays, beginning with a little bit of light, a reminder that it is our intention, our ability to light up one another's presence, to light up the evening, and bring light to this evening that allows us to celebrate this holiday. And so as we continue with our blessing for our candles, I'd like to invite anyone who would like to follow along to turn to page 120 of our prayer books. 120. Or another place.
We're in the festival book. Did you get the festival? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a slightly different book. Yeah. Well, let's join together. The words are very similar to a lot of the blessings that we have. The last words are
Yom Tov.
Shel Yom Tov. Thank you. Likner Shel Yom Tov.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
Well, it's not without reason that we go straight from lighting our candles to the Baruch Hu. As I said, the reason for lighting candles is so that we can enjoy the evening with each other. If you can imagine rolling back in time, way, way, way back to like the iPhone 2.
That was so long ago.
So long ago. When you didn't actually have lights in the house, right? It was a little bit before that. To light candles meant that you could sit around the table with each other, spend the evening with each other. And so it's for that very same reason that we go directly from our candle blessing that allows us to be with one another to the words of Baruch Hu, that cause us to turn to each other. It's a call and response, but this is a blessing that requires a community and allows us, by doing so, to take note of the community that we share. So I invite us to turn to page 130 in our weekday and holiday prayer books. 130, and let's join together for the words of Baruch Hu.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
I'd like to invite everyone to please rise as we join together for this prayer.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai.
Well, the sukkah requires that we have schach on the top. Those are the branches and natural things that allow us to feel shelter, but at the same time see the majesty of the stars above our heads. That is, of course, the role of prayer as well, to give us the opportunity to be together and find comfort in that way, but at the same time look out and see the majesty of the world around us. And so we continue with the words Ma'ariv Aravim, calling out the majesty of this evening. We'll find these words on page 132 of our prayer books. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach she'arim uvitbuna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmeroteim berakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla uma'avdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Ba'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. I invite us to join together on the left side of that same page 133. Let's read together. The colors of early evening sky blend and deepen, allowing new lights to be seen, twinkling through the branches, the promise that in darkness, new light will be revealed. We continue on page 134. Thank you.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah mitzvot, chukim umishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu u'b'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha. Le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu Uvahem negei yomam v'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu Uvahem negei yomam v'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu Uvahem negei yomam v'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vechayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, veshivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vechayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kerushim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher chotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue on page 141. Let's read together. Doubting is but the forefront of faith, a faith in the infinite growth of an unbounded creation. A doubting age is one of restlessness and discontent with what is current. A doubt is an idea that is still alive. To doubt that the past has uncovered all things is to express faith that many things are still to be uncovered. To doubt that we have grown to our full stature and knowledge is to express faith that we may develop into beings of such power and dignity that we cannot as yet imagine what we shall be. Continue on page 142 with the words of Mi Chamocha.
You may not recognize this melody. This is actually specific to Sukkot. So I know you won't be able to sing along unless you happen to know it, but this is what Sukkot sounds like. Just like this. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Elionu ve'ameru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Kudos to a lot of you.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot totally, but what do you mean when you say that it is a Sukkot melody? What do you mean that this is Sukkot? Cantor, tell us.
So there are melodies. It's called nusach, and nusach is a type of melody, a type of mode that goes with the holiday, or could be the time, or it could be the day, like a weekday. Nusach is different than a Shabbat nusach, which is different than the high holiday nusach, which is different than Sukkot or Shavuot. They all have their own unique sounds of the season and their own unique melodies. So when you hear them, you know, oh, it must be, like if you didn't already know and you walked in today just now and you heard that, you might think, oh, that's right, it's not Shabbat, it's Sukkot. So it's like a stamp that has a special sound for each special time.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Thanks, Cantor.
You're welcome. Anytime.
I feel like that happens. But I feel like that happens even with, sometimes I'll put a song on the radio, or I'll turn on the radio, right? And a song will come on that I heard over and over and over again for a long time, and then I haven't heard in a number of years, and it brings me right back to that spot. So I'm hearing you say that that's what these do. They bring us
Yes.
to Sukkot. That's what these melodies do. They bring us into that space.
Exactly. And actually, there's been a study done that when you hear music and it brings back memories from a time that, you know, is a happy time or something that you're fond of, you actually get flooded with oxytocin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so
That's why
we are getting
love-
flooded with
yes.
oxytocin this evening.
That's why we love the songs that we love.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, so let's continue. Let's sing a melody that might be familiar also from other times we get together and sing. The words Hashkivenu on our different prayer book, a prayer book for weekdays and holidays. We'll find it on page 144.
Hashkivenu l'Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Behamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Behamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Ushmor tzedkeinu, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Hashkivenu l'Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim.
Well, as we weave together the different pieces of that tzchach, as we build our sukkah together this evening, we come now perhaps to the main course of that meal, that time together. The words of the Amidah are likely the historical origin of our service. Words that were placed together and meditated on. Literally, people would sit and think about them and wonder about them. We found it was deeply meaningful instead to open up our mouths and offer these words together. And so we echo those songs from so many generations ago. Not just hundreds, but literally thousands of years of people offering these very same words for the very same reason of building this sukkah, creating a beautiful and meaningful space out of our gathering. And so I'd like to invite us to turn together to page 204 of our prayer books, and I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit.
Lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imachot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer uMoshia uMagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah, Rav leChoshia, Morid HaTal. Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memir umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua ve'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Prayer is not purely an act as all things pray. And all things pour forth their souls, the heavens pray and the earth prays. And every creature and every living thing in all life, there's longing. Creation is itself but a longing, a prayer, a kind of prayer to the Almighty. And so we ask, what are the clouds, the rising and setting of the sun, the soft radiance of the moon, and the gentleness of the night, if not prayer? What are the flashes of the human mind, the storms of the human heart? These are prayers. The wordless outpouring of boundless longing for Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Praise the light that shines before us, through us, and all around us. We take a moment to offer words that we might find in the pages to follow through page 228, or other words that we might find in our hearts. When you've finished your silent prayer, I'd like to invite you to please be seated. Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha. Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha. Yai lai lai lai,
Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha.
My thoughts now turn to those in our community who are in need of healing. We know that there is strength in offering prayer together as we find strength in one another's presence. So this evening, if there is anyone that you are thinking of, and we know that that is a healing of the body, or healing of the mind, healing of the spirit or the soul, I invite you to share their name aloud as my eyes pass across the room. And I'm going to mention now is the time for anyone who is joining us online to place the names of those that they are thinking of in the chat box on the website for tilb.org. You can click on the live stream button at the top. Now, I'd like to invite you to share the names of anyone you are thinking of online so that we can hold those people in our hearts before we offer this prayer. I'd now like to invite anyone who is here joining us in our sanctuary to share the names of those that they are thinking of. We join together for the words of Misha Berach, these words of healing. For those of us who would like to include read along with the words, you can find the words on 247, page 247 of our prayer books.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue our service now, noting that all of these things that we have set in front of us, all of the reminders, all of the things passed down through the generations to us this evening as indicators and reminders of ways of living a meaningful life, this is on our shoulders. This is on us. So we continue with Aleinu. Literally, it is on us. On page 322, I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We continue now thinking of those in our community who have died in recent days or in this season in years past. And so if you are joining us online, I'd like to invite you now to include the names of those that you are thinking of as we offer this prayer of mourning. You can go into the chat on our website, tilb.org, and offer those names in the chat. I'd like to invite you to do that now. For those of us who are here, if you are thinking of someone, if you are holding someone in your heart, I'd like to invite you to share their name aloud as my eyes pass across the room. If you are here having suffered a recent loss and are observing Shiva or Shloshim, the 7 days or the 30 days after the death of someone near to you, I'd like to invite you to rise first so that we can recognize you in your grief. And if you are observing the 12 months after the passing of someone near to you or the yard site, the anniversary of their death, I'd like to invite you to rise now so that we can recognize you in your grief. Now I'd like to invite all of us to rise together in love and in solidarity as we turn to page 334 of our prayer books. Page 334, as we offer these words of mourning together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabba, be'alma divarach yirtei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'gamechon u'b'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agalat v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ol meil maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudesha barichu, le'elam yun kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. V'osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may the memories of those near to us always be a blessing. I invite us now to turn to the words hodu, as this holiday is all about celebration. In fact, the rabbi said if there is one thing we set above all else for this particular holiday, it is oneg, which of course we translated and interpreted today in this age as delicious food, which we will have outside in our sukkah. But the word oneg literally means joy. And so we join together with words of praise, words of singing, and of course afterwards as well we'll join together. And I want to invite everyone who is joining us online to perhaps have an extra sweet thing, something this evening that you can join with us in our Sukkot across our community this evening as we celebrate. But first, let's sing together the words of Hodu Ladonai. Let us sing together and praise together.
That's a good question.
Hodu Ladonai
It's in Hallel.
is in Hallel. Okay, all right, so here we go. This is, I don't normally do this, but this is a whoever can get the page first.
Do, 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 do.
Hodu Ladonai, I think I know where it is. That's it. The words are actually quite simple. It's really just Hodu Ladonai Kitov, Ki Leolam Chazdo. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. So if you get the page number and you call it out while we're singing, go for it. Otherwise, let's sing together. The words, again, are Hodu.
It's right. Keep going.
Oop.
It's going to be right. Okay, page 301. Do I win something?
You do. You get to sing it for us.
Okay, great. It's just the first line on page 301 of the second Psalm 118. Everyone see Psalm 118? Just the first line, and it repeats. So and the melody's pretty easy. Hodu Ladonai, Ki Tov, Ki Leolam, Hasdo. Hodu Ladonai, Ki Tov, Ki Leolam, Hasdo. Hodu, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adonai. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adonai. Hodu Ladonai, Ki Tov, Ki Leolam, Hasdo. Hodu Ladonai, Ki Tov, Ki Leolam, Hasdo. Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adonai. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adonai. You know it now. Hodu Ladonai, Ki Tov, Ki Leolam, Hasdo. Hodu Ladonai, Ki Tov, Ki Leolam, Hasdo. Hodu, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai, Hodu Ladonai. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adonai. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adonai. You got it.
Well, Chag Sameach, everyone. A sweet and good new year and a good and sweet holiday of Sukkot. Chag Sukkot Sameach. For everyone joining us online, again, I invite you to take a little something sweet and enjoy it as we all enjoy the oneg, the joy of this holiday, and like to invite everyone here to join us outside. We have some wine and cheese sweets as we gather in our sukkah together, and again, enjoy the oneg of this Shabbat. Chag Sameach, everyone. Chag Sukkot
Chag
Sameach.
Sameach, Chag Sukkot Sameach. Thank you.
We're back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. I think I have an idea of.
maybe afterwards. Take a minute or tomorrow morning.